pure meta tier list. One time before 4.0 comes out. No new characters till 4.0, so we might as well do it. If y'all do like this video, turn on notifications, like, and subscribe because I do stream most times here on this YouTube channel. If y'all disagree with where I put a character, comment it down below and comment why, because I want to know. Maybe there's something I didn't know about a character that you guys did. Albedo. He's good. I will say Albedo's good. The problem, he's a support for geotypes. Obviously, he could work without geos, but he's a support for geotype. And geo is slowly falling off because their last release was Yunjin, which was a good year and a half ago at this point. Honestly, Albedo's a B tier, but new releases can make him go up to A tier easily. Amber sucks. Do I have to talk about Amber? I don't think I do. She sucks. Ayaka could be either an S tier or an SS tier character. You could put her in both and I wouldn't disagree. But for me, she's an S tier character. And why? The way Spiral Abyss has going and the new enemies that come out, they just try to nerf Ayaka as hard as they can. She's still an S tier character with all the enemies that come out. It shows how strong she really is. You could put her in SS tier, I wouldn't complain. You could put her in S tier, I wouldn't complain. But for me, she's an S tier. Barbara is a C tier character. She's not D. She got lucky because of Dendro, so she's a C tier character. You can run her on a Nailu Bloom team, and you could probably still run her on Ayaka Freeze if you don't have Kokomi, that is. There's so many better options, especially when it comes to Hydro. Beto's underrated. Is she the top of B tier or like the bottom of A tier, that is? You could put her in both. She does have a weakness with single target enemies, but multi-target she dominates, and she could be used with Aggravate really good. I've used her and she is super strong. She also got a new free-to-play weapon, the Mailed Flower, and that helped her a lot. Bennett. I mean, Bennett's always been like a #1 character. He's a go-to. He's Bennett. I don't have to explain him. Changin is a C tier. He's okay. He's not as bad as Amber, but he's not even anywhere near Albedo. He's usable, but you have to invest in him heavy if you want to run him on a decent amount of teams. Diluc is a B tier. Luckily for him, again, Mailed Flower came out and Burgeon is a strong reaction. Not used as much, but it's still strong. There's not really much to say about Diluc because where the game is, you're not really running him, but he's still B tier with his current strength. Diona is another underrated character, but she faces the same problem as Dendro is so strong and she doesn't have any good reactions with Dendro. For that, I gotta put it in A tier. She does do a lot though. She gives you a shield, she can heal, she can proc Noblesse, she can give you a particles. She does a solid amount. And at C6, she even gives you EM. But she just doesn't fit in the current meta. You could still use her, just not as much as these top 2 tiers. Officials, I see a lot of people put in the top tier, and I understand why. But if you do put her at the top tier, she would be at the bottom of the top tier, if you know what I mean. Like the last character. And if you put her at the second tier, which is S, then she would be at the top of S tier. So for me, I'm gonna put her in SS tier. Dendro just buffed up an insane amount. Ganyu is in S tier. Pretty much a weaker version than Ayaka when it comes to freeze, but Ganyu has Melt, which is still really strong. She's always been one of the strongest characters, and she probably always will be. Hu Tao is a little tricky because you can put Hu Tao in S, but you can also put Hu Tao in SS depending on your Hu Tao. If you're sitting on C1 Staff of Homa, she's in SS tier easily. But if you're sitting on C0 Dragon's Bane, which is what most people are gonna have, she's in S tier. So for Hu Tao, either one could work. It just depends on your Hu Tao, honestly. I'm gonna keep it in S tier for the free-to-play players. Jean is a B tier. Yeah, a B tier fits her well. She is a Nemo, which is why she's in B tier. You can work on Aggravate teams. You can run a lot of different artifact sets on her, a lot of different weapons. But now I say that these Mondstadt characters kind of fell off. Still usable and still very good on teams like Sunfire. But Jean is a B tier character. Kaya is a C tier character, and I'll tell you why. Kaya is strong, and I've seen him run to this day. But if you look at the investment that these people put into their Kaya just to be run to this day, you'll understand why he's in C tier. He's strong, but you gotta put in work to make him strong. Keqing could be a top of B tier or a bottom of A tier. Aggravate Keqing is super strong, but in reality, when you look at someone like Raiden Shogun, you're not gonna run Aggravate Keqing unless you really like Keqing. Klee's a D tier. She just sucks. She's clunky. Her bombs disappear when you switch for some reason. There's nothing really good about Klee that you can't get out of other Pyro characters. Lisa, she actually got buffed. Luckily for her, Aggravate is such a good reaction. And on top of that, she's super easy to build, super low investment. She is up there for most underrated character in the game. Mona is a weird character because she doesn't fit with Dendro as well as the rest of the Hydro characters in the game. But she could still fit with them. Mona's strong and can still fit in a lot of one-hit comps. I would say Mona's an A tier. Probably the bottom of A tier. Ningguang's a C tier. I would say she's an easy C tier. She does damage, but she just doesn't fit in the current meta like Noelle, another Geo character, and she's in D tier. I'm sorry, but she just is not good. And if you, again, she has the same problem Kaya has. If you want to clear Spiral Abyss with her, you're gonna need to put a lot of investment into her. Chi-Chi is also D tier. She's a healer that doesn't really do anything else. Razor, he's a C tier character. Aggravate at least buffed him up a little bit to go from D tier to C tier. Sucrose is an easy S tier. Matter of fact, you could put her at SS tier and I would not disagree with it, but she's an S tier, 100%. If someone were to put her at SS tier, I'm not saying nothing. She's strong, she always has been. She's simple to build, she doesn't take any investment at all really. She's just a good character overall and probably always will be. Child is between A tier and S tier. Child still has one of the best teams in the game, which is Child Shangling, but he doesn't fit with Dendro as much as you would want him to, compared to someone like Ayato. I'm gonna keep Child in S tier because of how strong he is. His Hydra application is insane. He could be easily run on certain weapons like Rust. He's just a good character overall, honestly. Fenty. Fenty is the definition of a character who could look like an A tier or an SS tier. It just depends on the enemies you're facing. But recently, everyone knows this, Fenty is just not the same. He can't suck in every enemy, so I'm gonna keep him in A tier. And honestly, that's amazing. A tier is strong for someone who can't suck in enemies when it's his job to group. Shangling is an SS tier. I don't gotta speak on it. His scaling is just too high. Yeah, Shangling is like an SS tier and there's like no debate on that one. Chao is an A tier character. Top of A tier, I would say. Very strong unit, but I gotta put him in A tier because he just doesn't do it as well as he used to. He's also not free to play friendly at all. His best 4-star weapon is probably Blackcliff Pole or Missive Wind Spear, and those are nothing compared to his 5-star weapons. Jingcho, do I even have to say anything? I feel like some of these characters I just don't have to say a word about. Everyone knows why he's in SS tier. Jin Yan is D tier. I just can't. He sucks. Zhongli. I've seen people's tier list move Zhongli down a bit, but I think he's just an SS tier character. He shields you like nobody else, and he takes down resistance like nobody else. I know he doesn't fit in the current Dendro meta, but so doesn't Shangling and Bennett, and he's kind of in the same boat as them. You're still gonna end up running him. Rosaria. Rosaria is a B tier character. She does her job well, and that's what matters. She gives people crit rate, she applies cryo, she does her job, and that's what's gonna put her in B tier, honestly. Eula. She's getting a rerun soon, but physical is just falling off so much. I have to put her in B tier, sadly. I wish I could put her higher because I know how much people like her, I know how much people use her, but this is pure meta. I'm sorry, I gotta keep her in B tier. She's just not the same as she used to be. Yanfei is a C tier character. I don't really think there's a debate on that. She's definitely not D tier. She's not on the level of these 5. But she's definitely a C tier character. I don't think I'm gonna explain Kazuha being an SS tier. I think everyone knows why. One of the top 5 characters in the game, does his job better than anybody else. I gotta put Yoimiya in A tier. I know some people see Yoimiya as an S tier character, but I'm telling you, people overrate Yoimiya a lot. I like her. I even have a C1 somehow. I have her on Rust R4 and she does damage, but her single target, it just ruins her completely. Like Hu Tao's single target is different than Yoimiya's single target. I've noticed that I cannot get the job done with Yoimiya like I can other characters in the game. And for that I'm putting her in A tier. I cannot put her in S tier. Sayu is a C tier character. She's definitely not on the level of any B tier characters, and she simply can't get the job done as easy as anyone above her. It's just the truth. I like Sayu. Shogun. Shogun's an SS tier. People always say, oh, she has to be C2, and then no, she doesn't. I've used her well, and she's an SS tier character. She provides energy for everybody, and she's just an amazing main DPS. On top of that, she fits in with Hyper Bloom and Aggravate. If you disagree that Shogun's an SS tier, you tell me why. So Kujo, Goro, Yunjin, Mika, and Farazan all do the same thing, but in different ways. And honestly, I want to put them all in the same tier, just because they support in their own different ways. I do want to put Farazan and Mika slightly under, and I'll explain why. So I'll put Goro, Yunjin, and Kujo Sara all in B tier, but Mika and Farazan, I'm going to put them in C tier, and I'll explain why. Farazan has negative energy. She is so annoying to play. And this is coming from someone who loves playing Zhao, who loves playing Wanderer. She is annoying to play. She sucks in a lot of energy and doesn't give any energy back. Mika, on the other hand, only buffs physical type, which sucks because physical kinda sucks. Now if you were to put Faruzan in B tier, I would understand that, probably because you have Faruzan C6, but not everybody does. It does suck that she only supports really Yoimiya, but when we get more normal attackers in the game, she will be a lot better. Goro, on the other hand, only supports Noelle and Ito, but he does it at such a great job that I'm putting him in B tier. And it's the same thing for Kujo Sara. She only supports electric, but she does it at such a good job. Alright, I'm gonna skip Kokomi and just put Aloy in D tier. I love Horizon Zero Dawn, but she just sucks. Alright, Kokomi. Kokomi is an SS tier character. Her Hydro application is just on another level. She can fit in multiple Dendro teams, and on top of that, she can fit in Ayaka Freeze. I don't really got much to say. She is coming back for 3.8 if you want to go for her. Toma got lucky about Burchin. Now I wish I knew more about him, because I don't know if I should put him in B tier or C tier. I do know that his shield is strong. I do know that running double pyro for some teams is strong, and I know that Virgin is very strong. So if you guys get to Toma, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to put him in B tier. Ito is one of my favorite characters, but he is falling off slowly, and I'll tell you why. As much as I like him, the enemies that we are facing in Spiral Abyss just kind of counter him. They all have shields, and we know how much Geo sucks at shields. So for me, I'm going to put him in A tier. Now if the enemies change, he can move up, but right now he's in A tier, and he's probably going to stay there. I'm going to skip Shenhe and grab Ye to just put Ye in S tier. She's super strong. Ye is not an SS tier character, sadly, but her at C0 with a free-to-play weapon can do a lot of damage. She is energy hungry, which kinda sucks. Really the only negative about her, but she fits in a lot of teams, and with Dendro we all know how good she is. Shenhe is an A tier character. She does her job very well, and on top of that, if you run her beside Ayaka or Freeze Ganyu, you know how good she really is. The problem, and why she's not an S tier, is because she has limited use. She is strong though, and when you do run her, you can make her look like an S or even an SS tier character. Ayato is an S tier character. He is in the same spot as Child. He just works slightly better with Dendro. Personally, I find them to be around the same, so I'm just gonna put them beside each other. Yelan. I mean, it's 5-star Xingqiu. Do I gotta explain it? They're both very strong, they both apply Hydro insanely quick, and they do their job at a level that other characters can't. Kuki is an S tier character. She is probably the most underrated character in the game. She does her job insanely well. She fits in multiple Dendro teams now. She generates a lot of particles for electric. There's only one negative with this character, and that's that she takes her own life when she uses her skill. Nothing else is really bad about her. Hazel. I like Hazel. I feel like a lot of people like his style of fighting really, but truthfully, you could just run Sucrose. That's really the truth. I'll throw him in B tier just because, but that's the truth. You like him, run him, but in reality, Sucrose is going to be a better option, and if not Sucrose, Wanderer. Tignari. That's an easy S tier. They just gave him a new free-to-play weapon as well, and I'll tell you that he is insanely strong. I don't like his playstyle, but it gets the job done. Insane amount of damage really quick, destroys boss enemies. There's not really much to say about him other than he's amazing. He was the first Dendro character we really got that does damage. Alright, Kole is a B tier. And honestly, she's a B tier because she's Dendro. If you notice, there's no Dendro characters under C tier. All the Dendro characters are above B tier because of how easy it is to build them and how strong they are. These are low investment, high damage characters. Luckily for Dori, she is electric. And she is the second electric healer, even though her healing isn't insane. She is a C tier character, but probably at the bottom of C tier. She just doesn't do her job that well. And you can find so many better options. Electric is the most fill type in the game, and she just doesn't do her job that good. Nailu is an SS tier character. I'm pretty sure everyone that has her will agree with me on this. She does one thing, which is Bloom, but she does it at a level so far past every other character that she's an SS tier character. It's simple. Dino is an A tier character. He does take a lot of building, but the truth is he's just not as strong as the electric characters in the higher tiers. He is strong, and you can build him to look like one of these characters. You can run him with Aggravate, and you could put in a lot of work with him with Thundering Fury, but he is just not an S or an SS tier character. Candice is a C tier character. She is in the bottom of C tier like Dori because you can run her on multiple team comps. Ayaka Freeze you can run her on, and you can run her on Bloom / Hyper Bloom. But again, there's just a lot of better options, and it just makes her worse. Being a Hydro character, you're competing with characters like Xingqiu and Yelan. She's just not meta, and that's pretty much it. If you want to talk best characters in the game, you talk Nahida. I'm not gonna lie to you, I've gotten her, and ever since, my account has been a lot better. He's easy to build, he's easy to play, he does her job better than anybody else, she has an insane ult, she gets a lot of energy surprisingly. She just does her job and better than everybody else in the game. Layla is in the same tier as Diona. She does the same job as Diona, but for Layla she doesn't heal and has the strongest shield. You run her on pretty much the same comps. You can run her on Noblesse. It's pretty much the same. People might disagree with me on this, but he's in B tier. Scarra is just not that special. I like him. I have him built. I have him on a 5-star weapon, and the truth is, he just can't perform the same damage as Xiao, and if you're running him on an elemental team, you're better off just running Sucrose or even Nahida. I like him a lot, but I just cannot put him above any character in A tier. When I'm grabbing Yao Yao, I'm gonna also grab Kave, I'm gonna grab Kirara, because characters like this fit in the same tier. You could say Yao Yao's the best out of all of them because she heals, but the truth is, all these characters do their job by applying Dendro and being Dendro bots. Kirara's fine because she has a shield, but it's simple. These characters are here because they're Dendro, and Dendro is just too broken. If you disagree with me on Alhaitham being SS tier, I want to know why. I love him. I found him free to play friendly. I found him very strong, and he just does his job better than the only other character that competes for main DPS, which is Tignari. He does his job better than on-field Nahida too. That's pretty much it. I mean, he's an SS tier character to me. Using him, he's been able to clear Spiral Abyss every time I've used him. He's done it with ease. He has good teams, and he probably has one of, if not the strongest team in the game when it comes to Alhaitham Hyperbloom. Daya. Putting Daya in D tier is just sad because everyone was hyped for her, but she sucked. And that sucks because we all wanted a good fire claymore, but guess we can't get it. Baizu. Baizu's in S tier. He provides a little shield and a lot of healing. Does his Dendro application better than most characters. He works well with any Dendro team really. He also is very free to play friendly, so I'm gonna put him in S tier. For the male MC, I'm gonna assume he's Dendro. I'm gonna assume female is Electric because the other two are just D tier. So Dendro MC will fall into B tier, and Electric MC will fall into C tier. Luckily, Electric MC is a battery and gets a lot of energy, and that's the only reason she's in C tier. But Dendro MC can actually do a lot of work. I've seen it, I've used him to clear Spiral Abyss, and he's very strong. Now, I know some people just skip to the end to see the tier list, and if you disagree with anything, just comment it down below. But before you do that, just skip to the part where I talk about the character, and tell me why you disagree with it too. I want to know,